All right. With me today is Mr. Bois Sherman, President or current sitting President, acting President, something like that, of the United States. Uh,
Uh,
KXX Vens, the Secretary of Defense, I think. Right.
Secretary
Secretary of
of
War.
War.
War. My fault. The prestigious Iakoji, Commander in Chief of Commander in Chief's Guard. Correct. Correct.
Yeah, that's a bit. That's right.
All right. And Arzakio, one of the most elite commanders in the United States Army.
The birthday boy himself.
The birthday boy himself. Happy birthday, Arzakio.
Praise the God.
So we're going to begin this with Mr. Sherman. Mr. Sherman, if you can just talk to us and explain to us how you landed into your position after Space Cadet.
How did I become president of the United States? That's a good question. So, basically, about a year or year and a half ago, Tim and Blockman, Ready Tomb 12 and Blockman, the two top men in USA, decided to simultaneously retire at the same time and left. And basically, there was no other candidate but me. So that's how I became president of the United States. KX was there too, but nobody remembers him.
All right. Mr. KXX Vens, if you want to talk to us on how you ended up so high.
I mean, when I first joined, I was in like old Warsaw, like before, I don't know, any like back when it was like the worst nation in the entire genre. And there's like no question about it. I started a little regiment there from my little guys from Northwind, another game, kind of similar, not really. And then after that, I just merged into USA under Tim and got like colonel right away or general
I'm
staff
doing
right away.
world histories here now.
Sorry, I have to screenshot something Orpio said just so I can pin this. Thank you. If a mod can go pin that in Yap Room, please. Moving on. Of course, we have to understand, Mr. Zacchio, how did you end up in this genre and where you're at today? Happy birthday, just so you know.
Okay. So I joined this genre in December 2020. I was like really young at the time. Then like in January 2021, I went to BA and became the regimental sergeant major in 95th. But in July of 2021, I saw USA was opening. I went there and I just never left.
Gallifreyan.
Just for the record, we do have a voice clip of Zacchio, and we'll be playing it. Insert here.
3, 2, 1.
No, that's risky. Guys, get ready to form up. Hold your shots, guys. Hold it. Guys, every form here. Form on me. Present aim. Fire.
It's in 3, 2, 1. Champ.
Every space out, guys. What the fuck? Spacing, guys.
3, 2, 1. Champ. Go, shoot the flag. It's down.
Pull back. Pull back. Pull. You shitters, be quicker. You shitters. Guys,
Insert here during the VOD, just so you can compare his voice on how long he's been in this genre. So we will be playing a voice clip of Zacchio screaming after getting capped.
Oh.
Moving on.
Uh-oh.
As we move into Mr. Boas and Mr. KXX, so this question goes to both of you. What inspired you or motivated you to take leadership in USA?
Good question. Well, to be honest, when I started in USA, first of all, I was in Cav first. And the big thing was I came to do Cav because I had done Cav in Tyler Sherman's Austria. Excuse me 1 second. There's an idiot. I had to go meet.
KXX, if you want to go ahead and answer the question, though.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. My mother came downstairs. Anyways, yeah, I was in Cav, and I did it because I wanted to do Cav because I was in Tyler Sherman's Austria. I did Cav there for a bit, horribly, I might add. And eventually a general position opened up, and I got that. I was like, being a general is fun. I like being a general. And when the position to become president opened up, I was pretty nervous, but I figured, why it couldn't hurt? Why not? Okay, Coach's turn. Cool.
I mean, what inspired me when I first started, there was no real good general, I guess, in Second Brigade. We had one regiment, and what kind of motivated me was the community. I loved all my little rankers, all my little officers. I think USA does have one of the better communities in the genre. Not, obviously skill, rally, whatever that Nation nations have, but the little community, people always in VC, people always playing a game. That's what kind of set it apart from other nations. So I kind of always stayed, no matter, people trash talk it all the time. Whatever. I just did what I could to slowly better the nation, and that's what's kind of motivated me all these years.
All right. This question to Mr. Arzakio. When actually is your birthday?
It is June 30th.
So in 7 days is your birthday.
Yes, in 7 days.
Zakio.
I think everyone needs to wish him quickly in Yap Room a very early happy birthday if everyone wants to do that. Yep. Okay.
Happy birthday, Zakio.
Just for reference, I'm gonna pull this over to the recording screen. You can see how many people are wishing him happy birthday. Moving on. Why not sing for him? I'm not singing happy birthday to Arzakio. Moving on. So, what would you say makes the United States Army different from other typical nations, Mr. Boas?
Honestly, just the presence and the general amount of just people who've been here like forever, and it's just the sort of community that exists in USA. I've never seen it anywhere else in any other group for any reason. It's just the people who joined this group when it first came out. A lot of them, like Bradley Dirt and Zakio, and I mean not Wade, but we don't count Wade. Have been here forever, and they are very loyal to the group and the USA as a concept, but at the same time they're in a good way completely insane. So it's kind of just nothing else like it, and it's easy to fall in love with it, but it's also easy to hate it at the same time. But you know what? It keeps things interesting. So that's what I would say. It sets us apart.
All right. If you guys were to choose one regiment, one line that has the most consistent in performances, what would it be?
U.S. Marines for years.
US Marines.
Yeah, easily. The only regiment we've had that has consistently rallied 20 for most of its existence, except for yesterday. We don't talk about that.
All right. And if you would say recently, what's the regiment that's made the most strides to transform? Most up and coming regiment USA.
Probably long term, I would say Rangers, because they all started as like a little 15-man, dedicated skirm regiment, and they were very, very, very good when they were skirmishers. Now they can rally, 25 to 30. Very good, very active. They used to be ranked. We're trying to work on getting them back up there. And if we're gonna say short term, I'd probably say CICG, just because they used to be, any other regulars line, but thanks to little Koji in this VC, they've started to become like an actual guard line slowly, and yeah. So definitely those two.
All right. Now going into a bit of the harder questions. From a development standpoint, USA isn't the most flashiest nations, if I think that's fair to say. But what sets you apart in the development side of the game?
Arzakio, our developer guy.
Honestly, about that, I think it's just like the general concept of like a USA in the genre is what kind of sets us apart, because like although as you said, we're not the most flashiest, like we can make something work. Like we could heavily design a flag or something like that, or like keep it in realistic terms, if you know what I mean.
There are limits to what we can do, obviously, but we do have options. I don't think we're ever going to be quite as fancy as like Old Guard, for example, but like or just Andor, because they have the pretty much do whatever you want. But it's we're limited to what we have, and I think in general, I think we can best represent what an accurate USA would look like historically accurate uniforms. That's my personal dream for USA. It's not probably everybody's, but I don't know if it's any different, but it's something.
All right. Question for a lot of people: will there ever be a USA Asia?
I wish Field could speak on that, but we probably tried like 3 times to get there. Every single time, the head of Asia tells me they're not looking for new people, which is fair. Because in his words, NW Asia, it's like not a large community. They're not gonna get in more people. Even if we have this big merge, this big like 70-man merger, we would be stealing rankers slowly from everyone else, and they don't want that. So as long as no new nation ever drops out of NW Asia, he said he wouldn't be accepting one. So I don't think USA Asia is gonna happen in the future.
I wish it would. Would be nice. Yeah. We all wish it would.
Brave Ottoman shock troopers killing the enemies of Allah. What the fuck? All right, moving on. So, Mr. Venz and Mr. Boas, what do you think is your proudest moment in USA at this time?
Overall, proudest would be, it's a bit of a weird one because it's kind of old. The Vesperian USA War, second battle. We lost the first one because we kind of sucked, but we won the second one. It was field commanding. To me, that was the proudest moment because it was a decent victory. It was a decent victory against a hard opponent, and we were very proud of ourselves after it. I was personally proud overall of it as well. I'm also very proud of just how regiments have been doing recently, but that's not a single moment. That's an overall thing.
KXX?
You gotta repeat the question. I had to go on deafen.
No problem.
God damn
What's
it,
your
KX.
proudest moment in USA?
Not gonna lie, I probably have 2. The first one was I think back in February when we had our first ceremony after like 6 months. We rallied 280, which for a minor nation, I feel like that's quite a lot. Probably my second proudest moment. I don't know. I would say probably recently with our performance. Like I kind of cut down on all these. I think a big problem in USA was we had like a million different regiments that all rallied like 15, and we've slowly been like condensing them. So like every army wide we've been doing slowly and slowly better because we're just focusing on skill, a couple of leaders. We're not really focused on a big. I don't know how to describe it. Big lines, a lot of lines. So our rally kind of went down a little since last ceremony, but our skill has definitely gone up a little, which I'm very proud of.
Thank you. We'll shift over to focusing on the U.S. Marine Corps. As of recently, if someone can find me that leaderboard from Sunday. I can't find it. I've been searching for it this entire time.
Yeah. I can probably tell you about that without even looking at it because I know what you're talking about.
I have to show it on the screen for
okay.
for VOD's sake. If you can give me 1 second, there it is. USA versus Austria.
Yeah, the problem with that was what's it called? Bradley wasn't there, Jaspy wasn't there, and the third in command wasn't there. So we had like a random ensign taking over. They were signed up for like a little 20-man line. I mean, if you look at any other leaderboard throughout like the past month, it hasn't been a problem. They've always been rallying. And I mean, yeah, it was just a bad battle, bad rally day, I guess. Wasn't really any hype to the announcement. Everyone kind of hyped up the ceremony the day before, the battle the day before. And then that exact day, Jaspy on an airplane and Bradley out with his girlfriend. So obviously no good leader there. That's why the rally kind of tanked. So
we had a quote-unquote brief and minor skill issue.
Okay, and then if
very brief.
Very brief. If we can talk to you about Saturday though, I know you guys are split up in 2 different things. I think we're gonna dial in on the Andorran server, USA versus Maryland and Marine Corps, or sorry, USA versus Andor. I believe this was NA battle. I disregard. Well, it's a scheduled NA.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a scheduled.
I don't know. That one, I don't even know if there's a field commander there because I definitely was not present. Portugal, are we talking about the Portugal one?
No, we're talking about Andor, Andor NA.
Andor. Okay, I'm gonna let Zach talk
NA
about
battle.
that.
I mean, it's a scheduled NA, and seeing how your nation's NA based, I'd say.
Yeah, I wasn't there then. Zarkio.
All right, so about the Andorran battle, so in the beginning, like in the first 15 minutes, we were up by like 1.5k. But I think what led to like what caused us to lose is that we kept getting too cocky and like we were just being too aggressive. Like as soon as we started to win, like comms just kind of stopped in the TeamSpeak, and during the half of the battle, we started to lose flags over and over, and the momentum we once had of where we were going to win that NA, it turned into a tie, and then since the momentum died down, we just couldn't win shots. We couldn't win melees, so we lost the battle. That was kind of my fault because I kind of had us just keep going and going, and I didn't realize we were just gonna fumble the victory until it was too late. So I take full responsibility for that.
But let's roll that back 3 hours ago, during that same day, in your win against Portugal. If you want to give some brief remarks about that Portugal battle that happened on Saturday, I'll also post it in the app room.
So
Yeah, that was Zach, yeah, you can go ahead, bro.
All right. So the Portuguese battle, it was my first field command battle after I got promoted. We wanted them to merge their 10-man line, so then it would be an even matchup, but they just kept refusing. So we just said, "Fuck it, we'll deal with it." And so the entire battle was like kind of a mess because like we had Cav like running to both flanks to help each other, along with on the left flank mainly, our lines just got too over aggressive, and we kind of lost the left flank for like 5 minutes. But then we quickly regained it because the right flank heavily pushed them back, like almost to their spawn.
Well, thank you. We'll stop zooming in on the battle performance, and we'll shift over to rally. An issue with majority of minor nations is sorry, I just saw something great. An issue with majority of minor nations is the rally, and like you guys have said, you came in and you started to remove the 10-man lines. How would you say you're rebuilding the nation in terms of rally wise?
We're focusing
Maybe
on
on the up now.
every regiment, like kind of rallying more and more. Like Zakia, for example, his little Maryland militia originally was just one line, right? It was just infantry, and they did cav every now and then. Now his cavalry split off; they became USA cavalry once again. So we're back to 3 regiments per brigade. Pretty soon here, we are going to. I got a lot of like merge offers. I'm going to be going to look through them because obviously I don't want a ton of new regiments, because that's what a lot of people in the past did for USA, and it kind of failed because they all rallied like 10. But I feel like we're at a good point where every USA line is somewhat stable, and we could probably look into accepting 1 or 2 just to start getting new faces and our numbers start getting back up there. But overall, I think our rally. I mean, again, it's not going to be as high as it was during February where we got like 280, but it's pretty good to see that we don't need to rely on a ton of mercs because we literally hosted our ceremony during that big new map campaign. So it's just cool to see. That's yeah.
Okay. Every nation has their nobility. Every nation has cool little titles you can earn, like Andor, the Order of the Golden Griffin, French. You could be a Chevalier, BA, of course, their orders. What is the USA Senator system, or becoming a senator in elections?
Oh, Congress.
It's Congress, yes.
Congress. So Congress isn't active right now. It started, I don't remember exactly when it started, but it's been a thing that's been floated around forever. Tim tried to make a congressional building. And Congress was supposed to be a literal elected head of government, a basic, well, not a literal like head of government, but an elected like advisory board, I guess you could call it, of basically rankers and officers from every regiment. I assume there was supposed to be a vote. It never really came into coalition, and as USA has been focusing on rebuilding our military strength, it never really has as of recently. It's always something that's in the wings. We do have the map for it, I believe, finished and paid for because Tim didn't pay for it, quote unquote. Great guy, by the way. But the Senate is currently inactive, or the Congress is currently inactive, but it's always something that's in the back wings. Always potentially something we could bring out once we are, in my personal opinion, stable enough that we can have a large secondary institution for rankers and officers to participate in the governance of USA in a totality.
All right, thank you, sir. We'll move. We'll pan over towards the community side of things as we talk about Congress. As you said, I would say myself that USA has a great active player base always in their VCs, but if you were to say to a new player, someone who's new to the genre, doesn't know anything, why should they join USA?
I feel like it's way more friendly than Asian nations because if you join them, they kind of disregard you as like just another number in their spreadsheet. You know what I mean? Because they rally so much, they don't really care for every individual ranker they get. In USA, you definitely get like a lot more personalized experience. You know what I mean? Like we spend a lot of time helping our rankers one on one, and we have a lot of game nights like almost daily. And people are always in VCs, always doing something. A lot of football fusion, a lot of American game nights, and I feel like it's a lot better experience for new players to learn the game with help instead of learning the game surrounded by bigger rallies but not as helpful officers. I don't know if that makes sense.
Boas?
I think right on the same level as KX. You every ranker, even the most minor, is somebody I recognize. I recognize a lot of rankers, mostly just because we're not as big. And we really do appreciate the people who show up all the time and they come to every battle and they stand out. Like is Baby Jer an officer now? I don't even know. But like just a bunch of people who forever were around, and because a lot of game nights in particular, end up having general staff or officers in them. For example, I got party with Radcat, who I don't think he's around anymore, but
Radcat
just
Raider.
Radcat Raider, yeah, and just a bunch of people. You really do. It's more of a close community overall, and I find you make more friends here than you would in a major nation.
All right. We're gonna shift back to our Zakio. Our Zakio.
God.
We like to know
Hello?
your path to success. You stated earlier when we asked how'd you get here that that you came into the genre 2 years ago. But if you can go into a bit more detail about your founding, because I believe you are one of the original founders of the U.S. Marine Corps.
Well, I was never in the Marines. Well, actually, that's a lie. I was in the Marines for the Vesperian American War when I came out of retirement and decided I'm gonna head back to USA. So I just served with the Marines until I got my merge after the war. And so okay, what I'm trying to say is that during my history in USA, like I kind of started out in First US, which always first. I love that regiment. The First US for a long time, like in its early days, it had like a bunch of incompetent COs until I took over in September 2022. And then I had it for 11 months, and then I retired for the winter or the fall, whatever you want to call it. And then that's where I came back to USA. But I don't really have anything else to say about that. So,
All right. Boas, as the nation leader,
Yeah.
if you were to shout out, one person you find, like that's always there for you, always able to help you, your right hand man, who would that be?
Oh, you got to make this an easy question for me. KX is, I mean, as much as we have our arguments, he is really the guy who does most of the magic a lot. He is a massive part of the group, and we're never going to agree on everything, but I do need KXX fans, and yeah, he really does deserve that Medal of Honor. I think he has. Unless he doesn't have it, and then I have to give him one.
KXX, who would you think would be your right hand man if you're Boas's? Who is your guy that you go to for assistance?
I feel like it's kind of split because I have two wonderful generals underneath me. I don't just have one person, but probably a Koji for Second Brigade stuff right now, and Pup for First Brigade stuff because I don't have a designated third in command yet. Or I could say Field Marshal too. I feel bad for Field Marshal. No, I just got the no.
Don't forget Field
Also Field Marshal.
Marshal. A right-hand woman. Jesus, what was that?
All right. We're going to shift over because we're approaching the 40-minute mark. I always try to keep these under 40 minutes or about there. We're going to shift over to the future of USA. As you said previously in this interview, you said that you're, after you stabilize, the last little things in your checklist, you're looking into incorporating another regiment. What's the future of USA looking like going into late summer and into early fall?
Right now, my plans are having CICG push for 2 lines so they can kind of separate and be their own thing, kind of like household or other guards in every other nation. And then I want at least, our biggest issue in USA, why we could never get ranked high enough, is our lack of spec lines. Like we have really, really good mixed lines because almost every single USA is mixed. We just need better full spec lines. So that's what I'm going to work on, having at least 2 to 3. And I want every single regiment to get at least 25 plus every single army wide, because right now we kind of struggle with some getting like 20, 23. You know, it's never always 25 plus. And I definitely want at least one more regiment in USA, just so we have an even 6 infantry and 1 cavalry would be very, very nice, very ideal by the end of summer.
Well, and with that, I'd like to thank you all for coming and attending. I'd like to thank Boas and KXX and Koji and Zakio. Happy birthday, Zakio. And the ability to accept this interview. Up next, we probably are doing Warsaw tomorrow, so stay tuned for the state of Warsaw. And we're looking into getting a time specialized for bio in Austria and Germ for Russia in the upcoming days. Other than, should we do Austria by core? You know, just asking the people here. Do you think we should do Austria by core instead of just doing the nation? Because I plan to do
It's gonna be a
France
lot
by...
of meetings, bro.
Yeah, I plan to
I
do...
mean-
A lot of interviews.
listen, the production value for ET only goes higher the longer I
If we're
drag
go-
this out. So, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
happy about it. Yes, by core. Okay, yeah. Because I plan to do France by core. I already have Borkelli on board.
You
and
gotta
I'm
do
talking
France
to,
by
I'm
core.
talking to my best friend, Unbridled Weirdo, if he answers my DMs, about his guard interview. But other than that, thank you all for attending. I will make sure we get Austria by core done. And thank you for coming. Any closing remarks, Boas?
I'm just thankful for how USA is right now, and I'm looking forward to seeing how we will succeed in the future. And thank you for having us. Thank you for letting us stay our peace and all that. A lot of questions for Zakio, but I'm not gonna lie. A lot of Zakio questions. Really weird.
Oh, just a reminder, Zakio, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Zakio.
Gray Rat.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, are you gonna do a state of Naples?
Yes, I'm currently in talk with Xsync, but Xsync wants me to go talk with Leo, and then Leo. It's a whole thing.
All right.
Mio, I'm
Oh,
not
it's a whole-
interviewing you, Mio. Okay, other than that, thank you all for attending. I'm going to go and close out the stage. I'll be in Yap Room if anyone needs me.